You have missed this, haven't you? Yeah, and this is our Valentine Special episode. Yeah, welcome to Say It. The number one, let's say it together. The number one culture-centered, Christ-centered, community-serving podcast on the internet. Thank you. Thank you. Welcome to our Valentine's episode. I beg Valentine should get out, if I'm being honest. Over the course of the last 2 weeks, we put out questionnaires, right? And we asked you to answer a couple of questions for us. Oh, by the way, I'm actually not really I'm a little under the weather, so if you hear me sound like that, it's good. No, but it's a question. Yeah, there are like 5 questions. Now, for anybody who doesn't know, the Valentine story is a pretty dark story, right? I'll give you like a general summary. Soldiers were not allowed to get married because apparently marriage was going to distract them. So marriages were banned, right? In I think it should be ancient Rome. I can't really remember, but I do know that there was this rogue priest called Saint Valentine that used to marry people in secret, that kind of thing. And then he gets caught, and while he's being held captive awaiting his death, he falls in love with his captor's daughter. I think her last letter she received from him before he was executed, he ended it by saying, "From your Valentine," and hence Valentine's was born. It's important to at least have like an idea of what you're celebrating. Why did we ask our audience questions? First of all, if you do not already know, Say It is a community-led podcast, right? So the community runs the podcast. Every single person we have on the team was once a listener, or is still a listener of the podcast. You get what we're trying to build here is a community that is led by itself. We are a community-led community. Anyways, we asked these questions because we wanted to really, engage the audience today on this special Valentine's episode. Understand what my people's love life is like what is actually going on with you people. Like, if you answered these questions and you wrote anything instead, I looked so mushy, I will not read it. Let me just tell you, I will not read it. Even if I read it by mistake and I'm blushing and I'm smiling, I will just bleep it and cut it out because I don't know if you should get out. So the first question is, what's the most hilariously awkward date you've ever been on? Personally, let me give you the gist. So I was seeing this girl, right? For the sake of this conversation, we'll call her Princess. One day, I'm speaking with my friend about like how cool Princess is and everything, and he was like, "Oh, I want to meet this person you keep talking about." I'm like, "Okay, no problem. You know what? Let's have like a double date, right? Let's have a double date. I get to meet your girlfriend, you get to meet my girlfriend." Even the word girlfriend sounds weird in my mouth. Such an adult now, God I beg. Anyway, we plan for this. We had to go see a movie. So we go to the cinema and it was Infinity Wars. It was either Infinity Wars or Black Panther, I really can't remember, but I'm sure it was Infinity Wars. Anyways, we get there, and because I'm punctual, and because my girlfriend used to be really punctual, she's like, "Oh my, hey, am I going to say the word X?" Anyways, my girlfriend at the time, because I still don't, that whole X thing, I still don't really know how that works. Have I gotten over my ex? I don't think that's the relevant question. Anyways, so we get there early, and my friends are not yet, at the cinema. It's normal, so we're chilling. My girlfriend is like, "Okay, I'm hungry. Let me have ice cream while we're waiting." So I'm like, "Okay, sure, let's get ice cream." So I walk up to the ice cream stand, gentleman. I pass my ATM card, and the card declines. And I'm like, "Okay, that doesn't make sense." So she pays for her ice cream. I sit down and I watch this girl eat her ice cream, and all the while I'm just like, what is happening with my card? Long story short, I sure knew that in that moment I couldn't use the ATM card. So I turned to my girlfriend, being the honest, open and transparent guy that I am, and I'm like, "Princess, something's wrong with my card. I don't think we'll be able to see this movie, right? And I know I'm really sorry that I took you out of your house and everything." And she's like, "No, it's fine. Don't worry. And are you sure?" She's like, "Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. She don't worry. Yeah, she should take care of everything." I feel like that was the point I realized that this girl really had money. You know how you don't know if they have money until something just happens. I just realized that these people might not be telling you everything. Get what I mean? Long story short, This girl pays for everybody's tickets, pays for everybody's popcorns. Obviously, the plan was, okay, I would refund it to you later, when I get my card working out, But just having to be in that space was very, very awkward for me. But looking back, right, I'm actually grateful. I'm actually quite grateful that, I wasn't with somebody who, number one, was flipping out, somebody who was, very, very entitled and, couldn't have, communicated support, right? I had somebody good, so if people start with all this nonsense questions, people start asking about exes. She was not a bad person, don't worry. God has not given me any bad person to date yet in my life, and I hope it never happens. God gave me the best people, friends. I mean, of course there are like some bad people, but it's not like they're bad. They're just not great for me. Yeah, that's for that. That being said, let's read some of the replies. What's the most hilarious awkward date you've ever been on? Now, this person says, staring at each other in silence until it got really awkward. Apparently, we were too shy to say the real things in our heart. Oh, I really want to know if you all ended up saying the things that were in your mind at the end of the day. And all of you should get out safe. So we have another response that goes, I went on a date. Okay, this looks interesting. I went on a date and didn't eat. The man used to talk to engage me from the moment I got there, and I was hungry. I thought it would be awkward to ask for food or go out and buy food for myself because I found out buy for Amsha. Okay. Naim first, they pressure me, say, you won't take me out for lunch. Forgive my pidgin, stick to the story. I tried my best to keep up with the conversation though. When I announced it was getting late and I needed to go home, he then said he wasn't hungry, but if I wanted to eat, he'll get. I hate this line, bro. Like, I'm a guy and I've used it at least once, but dude, it's I don't know if you ever know what this is gaslighting, right? This is gaslighting right here. I'm not really hungry, but if you want something, sure, it's a lie. Most times people say things like this, right, when they don't have enough money for two people. Which again, I think, right, it just could be communicated a lot better. There's nothing emasculating about saying, okay, I actually prioritized you eating, right, when I came here, or you having something. I really didn't have enough for like two, but I definitely have enough for you if you want to get something to eat. That's communication, you get, like, and anyone who would hear that, or anybody who would hear that and feel a type of way, I don't know, you have problems, you have real problems, you get, like, I feel like we should be comfortable with, like, here's one thing about communication that I like to talk about a lot. The more you do it, the better you get at doing it. You get, like, I used to be somebody who used to avoid confrontations. This is another tangent entirely, but stay with me. I used to be somebody who used to avoid conversations. I used to avoid confrontation. I was the guy that, was trying to live peaceably with all men, And then I started working at this company, a consulting company, and I stumbled upon this book called The 5 Dysfunctions of a Team. If you've known me for long enough, you would know that I have talked about this book before. So I stumbled on the book and I'm like, okay, let me read it. And I read it and I realized that one of the dysfunctions of a team is actually avoidance, right? Avoiding confrontation, avoiding conflicts, just to keep the peace. It doesn't really help anybody. And one of the action points of the book was that I should start, put myself in those uncomfortable situations that I would typically run away from. And I started doing that. And trust me, I got a lot better at communicating things. Like, yes, the first few times would be terrible. And I don't really think that, you would ever get to the point where you're not like a perfect communicator and everything be like 100. Sometimes your emotions can be so strong it will get in the way of your, thought processes. But I will assure you that it gets better. It gets a lot better, right? So I said all of that just to say, any of these conversations, the reason why people find it hard to have them is most likely because they run away from them so much that they never end up having them, and then they are stuck whenever it comes up. Have the difficult conversations. That's how you learn, right? And as a bonus tip, when you learn it, you actually know exactly what to teach your kids when you have kids. Yeah, so that's like another bonus. Let's continue with this girl's story. The boy said that he's not hungry, but if he wants to eat, he'll get something. Okay. Lo and behold, the rice had finished. Okay. So wait, hold on a second. This was like at a restaurant. You're at a restaurant and you're just standing with just gisting at a restaurant. If that's the case, it's weird. Not just for your tummy, not just for the hunger, but like it must have looked weird for even the people who managed the place. But that's on the side note. Anyways, the city rice not finished. And then the man suggested swallow and soup. I declined. No comment on that. No comment. We left the place and he asked if I wanted anything else. Then I went ahead to decline every request because he didn't like my own choices. No comments, because no, this table is there's a lot to unpack here, but this guy doesn't sound like a great guy. He even called shawarma rubbish. Of course. I left him and went home for my own peace of mind. Avoid 30 plus light skin men. This guy is 30 plus. You all are going through a lot of things though. Like, wow, for real? Anyways, next responder. I went on a date with my partner on high heels, which was uncomfortable working with. We got to the venue, and at that point I couldn't walk in comfortably, and I had all eyes on me. Let me process this. So you went on dates, you went with heels, you're not comfortable with heels, and you go on a date with your partner. Okay, this is your partner. So obviously, I don't think it's like a first date or something, because if it's a first date, here's a rule of like first dates. If you're going on a first date, make sure you're as comfortable as possible. Like, make sure you are as comfortable as possible. Wear a dress that you feel very confident in. Wear a shoe that you feel very comfortable with. Like, try and be as confident as possible on a first date. Like, you can't be trying to get to know somebody and be feeling insecure about yourself at the same time. It just can't work. See me giving all this advice. Thank God, I beg. If you want to share your own stories, please, by all means, I want to hear it. Drop them in the comments, or drop them in the form. So, question number 2. If you had to describe your love life using only a movie title, what would it be? I would read a couple of responses and then I'd tell you what mine would be. So, somebody says You, the series, and then puts in bracket, don't even ask. Okay. Creep. Don't mind me. Have you seen You, the series? I really hope you've seen You, the series, because you is a little creepy. Somebody says, to all the boys I have loved before. Am I supposed to say all? Because I haven't seen this one. And if you start doing what? You haven't, don't. I've not seen it. Somebody here says Hancock. Yeah. Okay. You have to give us context to all of this, because, man, I don't know. For me, if you were to describe my love life as a movie, I'm sure many of my friends already know, but I would say A Quiet Place. Anyways, next question. What is the cheesiest pickup line that has actually worked on you? One person says, you are 1 in a million and 1 in my world. So this thing worked on you, right? So first of all, it means you were able to make sense of this. Number 2, it also means that you have to explain yourself, whoever this person is. If you are listening to this podcast or watching, please send an email to say.thepodcast.com and explain yourself. Because this is not even game, bro. Like, you are 1 in a million and 1 in my world. Like, is there something I'm not saying? Is it just me? Or am I just being a hater? 1 in a million sounds very, very cliche. Let me not lie. I'll be honest with you. I'll tell you. It sounds very cliche. It sounds like something you hear in a song, written by Bob Dylan. This person says, I can't think of any. What is happening? This person says, someone says, none actually. I don't understand what's going on. Like, what's happening on the streets? Like, I've been away from the streets for a while, but like, are you telling me that people don't pick up again? Like, people don't, like, what happened to all the poets and all? All of them married now. Like, the streets used to be very, very competitive. You get, like, what's happening? Where did all the game go? Like, I should come back and play like maybe like a season, because 1 in a million is like, whoa, 1 in a million, bro. So says, I'm bored, let's go home. That was a pickup line. I'm bored. Let's go home. Unless you were liking this person before, like, because someone was telling you, I'm bored, let's go, and you just say, okay, and you just fold. Yay. Anyways, next question. I'm so disappointed in these pickup line questions, man. I was expecting a lot more game, man. Like, I don't even know what's happening here. Even if you're a lady, right? At least try and use pickup lines on the guy. Like, once like, practice. Like, preserve the art form. We can't let it die with us. You know what I mean? Like, come on, guys. Next question. If you could plan the ultimate Valentine's Day date with an unlimited budget, what ridiculous or over the top thing would you do? Let's hear it. So this person says, travel on air with my partner. I don't even know if I should laugh, right? Because I feel like think about it. This is unlimited budget. You can literally buy an island. It is unlimited budget. You can decide to. You can do things a lot crazier than just travel on air, right? So I don't know who your partner is, but maybe you should have asked your partner this question. You could have come up with like something a lot nicer than travel on air. And I'm never trying to say traveling on air is not nice, but you get what I mean. Like, it's unlimited budget we're talking about, man. Like, there's a lot more you can do. There's a lot more you can do. Try and go out and see the world. Try and see that the possibilities are actually endless. Unlimited budget, yay. Anyways, this next person says they would take the entire week off to some country. Once it's all of you are flying and just getting out of it, you're like, I don't know, is it like a thing? Is it a recurring thing that everybody just wants to escape reality? And when you hear unlimited budget, they're like, oh, let's get out of here, man. Don't mind me. I mean, you can see for yourself. This is the pattern of things I'm getting. All right, so it's not just me. Third person, all right, I will travel to Paris. I travel to Paris to have a croissant for breakfast, to the Maldives just to stare at the body of the sea. Escape realities. So here's my question: if escaping reality is the most over the top thing you can do for yourself or your loved one on Valentine's Day, what does that say of our culture? It's all the same thing, just masquerading itself in different forms. It's all the same thing. We all just try to run away. What are we running from? Why are we running? Why? Okay, so this person says boarding one of those space shuttles and viewing the Earth is the same thing. It's the same thing, bro. Everybody wants to run away, man. Everybody wants to run away. I don't know why, but please don't run away. Presence can be a gift, right? The most absurd thing you could do for your partner could actually be to spend the whole day with them. Because you don't even get to do that anymore. Like, everybody's always on their phone or out to work. Weekends, you're trying to catch up with work, or trying to go out to party. Like, the most absurd thing you could actually do is turn off your phones, turn off the internet, and just sit down with these people. Like, just sit down with them. Talk, maybe read a book, or just ask them questions about like their lives, ask them hypothetical questions, ask them questions about like their past, things that you probably haven't asked before. Like, just get hungry, make sure that you'll get hungry, go to the kitchen, make a meal, make a good meal, or waste time, watch a movie, sleep on the movie, wake up, clean the house, that's presence. It's a gift. It's a real good gift. Okay, last question and then we'll call this a day. So last question. Complete this sentence. Love is like dash. All these love people. This is a yuck moment. So one person says, love is like a swimming pool. You better learn how to swim before you fall inside. Word. I like it. So love is like a swimming pool. Before you fall in love, learn how to swim. So how do you learn? How do you learn how to swim before you fall in love? That's an interesting train of thought. Somebody says love is like water. It can quench your thirst or drown you in its depth. This one, everybody is using water to describe love. Therefore, learn how to swim before you fall inside. Like, it seems like the same person wrote both of them. I love it. Okay. Somebody says love is a mixture of pain and joy. Love is like a mixture of pain and joy. It's a two-way thing. You may love not have pain in Jesus' name, because I don't know. It's I think I get what you're trying to say. You're trying to say that it's not all rosy. Yes, I mean it's not all butterflies. Yeah, but let's take it easy on the pain you get. Last one person here says, bread and beans. The beans may take long to cook, but the combo is sweet last. Sorry. Love is like bread and beans. The beans may take long to cook, but the combo is sweet last. Please, somebody explain this thing now. Like, I don't even, what is this? Love is like bread and beans? I'm assuming that what you're trying to say is, it's like, you know the way bread and beans is, right? So the beans may take long to cook. When you say cook or take long to cook, you might be talking about like self-development, being able to like, handle your emotions and all that, growing your emotional intelligence, your EQs, even though it might take you a long time to actualize that, when you combine it with bread. But yeah, this has been such a fun episode, man. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching this episode. We're hoping we get a lot more conversations like this, get a lot more interactions with the rest of the community. Like I said, if you want to answer any of the questions or you have any comments on anything, please leave a comment. Let's actually get to hear what you think, and let's also hear how you spend your Valentine's Day. All right. That will be all. I'll leave you with these last words. Paul described love, right, as character. All right, and I think it's really beautiful. Love is not an emotion. And most times we think love is an emotion, but when you think about it, what you feel when you see somebody you're in love with is really excitement. Excitement is the emotion. The butterflies you feel in your tummy, that's excitement. They're pretty much brain chemicals. So what you feel when you see somebody that you quote unquote like or attracted to or you're in love with, that feeling is not love. Love is something different from a feeling. Love is decision. Love is character. Love is patient. Love is kind. And then you see things like love does not envy, love is not proud, it doesn't boast, it's always seeking good, it doesn't seek evil, it doesn't heap up. Many of the things that, love is described as are not emotional things, are not feelings, right? They're decisions that define the character of a person. And the beautiful thing about it being character is that character is not only something that is then directed to one person and one person alone. Character is something that influences every other part of your life. You get. So if you're a person who has a character or a disposition of love, you're somebody who is a person who has learned to be a lover by decisions, by practice, by commitment, by dedication to the art and the craft of letting, the character of love flow through you over time, right? A lot of plenty grammar. But if you're that person, you pretty much can love anybody and love everybody. I said all that to say this. Love is character. Love is something that can be learned. Yeah. I'll point out one more thing, right? Most people tend to think of love as, action. And it can be very misleading when you think about love as action. Because in 1 Corinthians chapter 13, it starts by saying, if I can speak in tongues of men and angels, if I'm eloquent, right, but have no love, I'm nothing. So pretty much it's telling you that love is not necessarily eloquence. Love is not necessarily poetry. So you might get a lot of poems on like Valentine's Day. You might get a lot of people write a lot of fancy things about you. Poetry and eloquence does not equate to love. It can be very misleading. Somebody writes and the person don't bust your head with plenty grammar. You're just like, oh my god. Sometimes they copied it. From somewhere. Yeah. Don't mind me. You know how I feel about these things. Like, come on. But it goes on to say, right, that if I give my body to be beaten and if I give everything I have to the poor, and I have not love, I'm nothing as well. And I'm like, okay, so love is not even in the giving, right? Love gives, but not every giving is of love, right? It's such a humbling thought that there are many things that we do, many actions, not just things that we say now, right? There are many things that we do, and it's easy to see them as things that are being done out of love when in fact they are not. Literally, somebody could give to charity and it doesn't come from a place of love. Yeah. Somebody could give their body to be burned. It doesn't come from a place of love. Most times we want to try and decipher what is love and what isn't love, and if you try to decipher by what is said and what is done, you'll miss the real game, the bigger picture. What is character? Character is a consistency in action over time, right? So love is not something that you can figure out in one day. When people say, "Oh, I fell in love with this person," how long have I known the person? Oh, 6 weeks. The reason why I wouldn't feel like you really know what you're talking about is because, again, love is character, right? Love is something that over time you realize. Like, the poem tells us, love doesn't keep record of wrongs. Like, you haven't even seen how this person reacts when you're wrong. This person, you haven't even seen how this person reacts when they're mad at you, and you already feel like you're most likely not, right? It's probably just dopamine and serotonin and oxytocin. You get me? Why did I spend all this time trying to bust your bubble? Why? I did it, right? Because if there's anything I can give you this Valentine's Day is clarity, right? Like, I promised you when we started this thing that I would give you perspectives, right? We would try to figure things out and ask all the questions that need to be asked, and pretty much be people that would not just take things at face value, but would actually study, would actually research, would actually try to understand. When you finally find that person, if you haven't already, right? That's for like my singles out here. When you finally find them, you would not love them for how they make you feel. You love them because of their character. I know you're expecting some kind of deep poetry. You love them for their character. How they make you feel, anybody can make you feel that way. It's she's not chemical. Anybody can make you feel that way. But what will be constant over time is that you would find somebody who you'll be willing to improve your character for. Somebody you'll be willing to learn for. Somebody you'll be willing to, change for. Not necessarily all the other things that you've lied to us about. And I know, that's probably why I'm still single. Get out. But yeah, have a lovely day. I'm never trying to bust anybody's bubble. I'm just trying to share my 2 cents. You get, everybody around you is deserving of love, especially if you're a Christian, if you're a believer in Jesus Christ. Yeah, it's actually your responsibility to actually love. Jesus Christ said, "They will know you are my disciples. They will know you believe in me. They will know you follow me. They will know you listen to my teachings. They will know by the way you love one another." Alright guys, that's about it for today's episode. Let's pray and get out of here, alright? So, dear God, thank you, because above everything, the true definition of love is you. You have shown consistency in your character. You have loved us even when we didn't have anything to give you back. Even when we didn't make you feel butterflies in your tummy. Even when we were your enemies outrightly. You loved us. So, thank you. Because you set the template for us to follow, and you really just, set an example that makes it a lot easier to know that we can do it too. So, help us love everybody. Everybody, especially our enemies, especially the people we don't want to love. Actually, help us actually still have love in our hearts for them. And yeah, thank you, God, and you help. Thank you again, in Jesus' name, amen. Alright guys, have a lovely day, have a lovely week, have a lovely weekend, happy Valentine's Day, and bye. Boy, it's making me cry. Dude is hyping me up. Such a weird dude. This is true love here, like right here. You see this? This is love. Dude randomly just sends me this type of thing, so he'll be so hyped if he sees this online. What is love like to me? I feel like love is like wind. Alright? You can't understand it, you can't track it, you can't trace it. But if you don't lead it, it leads. Hey, I don't lead talk, it's not follow. Jesus.